Recorded. This is the Red Ticket Blues podcast. I am Brian Buckley. This is being recorded on January 25th to hit the internets on January 26th. You can always listen to the show on iTunes, TuneIn, Radio, Stitcher, YouTube, and follow me on Twitter at Red Ticket Blues and at Brian Buck 13. What a treat today. Everyone loves her, including me. My beautiful, beautiful wife. Hello.
Hello, husband.
How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. Thanks for inviting me on.
Oh, it's my pleasure.
Oh.
You're part of the team.
I am.
You're the
I'm
creative
integral.
You're the creative
Integral.
genius.
That's right. Thank you.
So we're going to get into a little of the football today. Your boy took care of business yesterday.
That's right. Well, Peyton. More so the defense, but sure, I'll allow it.
And there was the other NFC game, which was over very, very quickly.
Yeah.
And it was a real laugher. We just got some NBA news. A little potpourri after that, I guess.
Okay.
But let's start with the storm.
The storm.
The blizzard to end all blizzards. It was not predicted that way, but it ended up being that way. And it postponed the papal event in downtown Manhattan, that being FrancesaCon.
That was the case.
Are you over the fact that you did not get to experience FrancesaCon?
I'm okay.
How dare you? You're okay? That's it?
I went down there with you. I was going to go. What more can I say? I was being a phenomenal wife.
No, you don't need to go all the way to Manhattan to be a phenomenal wife. You could just do a podcast with me here in New Haven.
Yes, that's true. But I went there. I was going to experience it. It didn't happen.
That's okay. Well, the snow happened. The snow happened. For once, the weathermen, they weren't wrong, but I bet you they all had like Cheshire Cat shit-eating grins on their faces. They were wrong with the fact that they didn't expect this much, but they kind of told everyone, yeah, see, we told you, snow was coming, and you didn't take us seriously. Mm-hmm. And instead, Mother Nature stuck it, right up there and said, here's triple what we expect.
That's right.
And what did we do instead? We met up with, we're insane, including all the other people that were at Sidebar in Manhattan this weekend. Nothing was open except this bar. And a lot of the people that wanted to go to France...
Did you actually double check on this? Nothing else was... Yeah.
It doesn't matter.
Oh, okay.
It doesn't fit my narrative.
Yeah. Got it.
And a lot of the people that were going to go to FrancesaCon went to this bar, and I swear to God, they threw the fire safety code. They ripped it up and pissed all over it because that place was so packed.
It was packed.
I told people there, I felt I was going to be part of a documentary that would appear on Netflix about how, like the 17 people trampled to death trying to get a drink. Mm. It reminded me how much I hate bars.
Yeah, there were a lot of people.
That's all you got?
Well, I mean, what do you want me to say? Your social anxiety disorder started to kick in? Yeah, probably.
No, it was more than social anxiety disorder. Let's be honest. That was ridiculous.
There's a lot of people.
It was terrible. I lost my glasses.
Yeah, well... But that says more about you than...
And people there are probably thinking, Brian, you weren't even wearing glasses. That's
right.
The thing that's so strange about it. I had it in my bag, and I don't know where they are.
Yeah, well...
I don't know.
Again, that says more about you than Sidebar or the whole situation. You lost the glasses. I'd like
to blame Sidebar in some capacity, because if it wasn't so packed, I would have had my bag on me at all times.
That's not true either.
You're right, it's not true, but... You trying to bring reason into this? Stop. But it was a good time had by all. Got to see some of the people that would have gone to FrancesaCon.
Yeah.
A lot of people that made big trips there, like Jared, who's been on the podcast. Jared, WFA and Trades, and Mrs. Trades.
And Mrs. Trades.
So it was a good time had by all.
It was a good time.
I definitely can't hang anymore.
Well, we
Drank
knew
too
that.
much. Oh.
Yeah.
Drank too much. It wasn't terrible, but it wasn't, it was...
No, you weren't.
You don't need a repeat performance of it anytime soon. We'll put it that way. So the blizzard,
You fell in the snow.
I fell in the snow, that's right. In mid-conversation with Jared. Just talking to him. So yeah, then what happened was, fell right down. Got back up. Maybe
had seen that.
Maybe that's when my glasses fell out.
That's one of my... That was one of my suggestions.
And then the bum yelling at us. And he said, I've never had a white woman. And Jared said it's overrated.
Did he?
Yeah. Just to calm
down.
Yeah. So on our way back the next day, Metro North. What?
No, I didn't hear his reply.
On Metro, it's overrated. On Metro North the next day, we expected a complete madhouse because Metro North had been shut down because of the blizzard of the century. Now, there was that line that was the entirety of the, let's see.
Again, what were you expecting?
The length of Grand Central Terminal, and it wrapped around the steps. However, that was for the first train. The next train was at 3:34, and it was quite reasonable, the amount of people waiting for that train. And our train left at the 3:02.
Yeah.
So all those people, I don't know what to say. The hell with you. But we got home.
Yeah.
We missed some of the game. Some of the opening game. Broncos, Patriots.
That's right.
We got to see the second half, though. I got to see a little bit in between shoveling snow, as a huge pile of snow was dumped right in the driveway where my car is. So that was a lot of fun. Love traveling all day through snow, hungover, feeling like shit, and then shoveling. It's a ton of fun. A lot of fun.
Moral of the story is you can't handle your beer.
Moral of the story is it snowed too much. That was the moral of the story.
Okay.
So on days it snows too much, I can't drink.
I'm not saying that.
How about, did you notice, did I tell you about this? When we were at Sidebar, I got to meet a gentleman who works for NJ.com, Anthony Morrow. And we were talking, and this drunk asshole sort of bumped into us and said, "Hey, man, mind if I go first? I'll buy you guys some drinks." I got to buy you some drinks. And we just said, "Okay, sure." So he bought some Fireball shots, which I don't think were for us. But he sort of left them there.
And you took some?
Hold on. Then we looked up and we saw him getting choked out by the bouncer.
Really?
Yeah, in a sleeper hold.
Oh, boy.
So we sort of like studied the shots.
Yeah.
Looked at them from every angle.
Okay.
And then just sort of said, the hell with it. So we took them.
Yeah.
Quickly flicked them back over like nothing had happened. So I thought that was a good story.
Yeah, sure. I guess it was a good story.
Anyway, so the football games. What was I going to say? Anything else about the storm that you want to chime in on? Nothing? You're completely done with the storm?
I'm done with the storm.
So, let me ask you this. Were you stronger than the storm?
Well, I trekked through it to get to Sidebar, so yeah, I'm gonna say yes to that.
All right, so Denver, New England, yesterday.
Yeah.
It was the game that Boston Sports Radio took obnoxiousness to a new level, even for Boston fans. What did I hear on WEEI and the Sports Hub the last few weeks, even when they weren't even playing Peyton Manning, was Peyton Manning bashing. Peyton Manning this. They were so convinced the Broncos would win yesterday's game.
You mean would lose?
The Broncos would lose yesterday's game. I'll tell you, I wasn't fully convinced they were going to win the game. They jumped out to they did well in the first half while we were on the train as I refreshed updates. Because you have to have Verizon to actually have the game stream on your phone. The NFL is an evil bitch goddess that they will do anything to screw the fan. You gotta be a Verizon customer. Even with my parents' Verizon username and password, it noticed my AT&T mobile provider. It knows. That's the main thing. Screw them. They know. So we missed the first half, but the Broncos jumped out to a 17-9 lead at halftime. And I'm still not convinced because I know he's your boy. Peyton is still... I mean, he had some good throws yesterday. He had some bad throws. He didn't make any mistakes, though. He was 17 for 32 with 176 yards. C.J. Anderson was, adequate on the ground, 72 yards on 16 carries. Emmanuel Sanders, again, he was the leading receiver with 62 yards, which really isn't that impressive. No. The main thing for Denver was the defense.
Oh, yeah.
This is we don't even need to tell you this if you saw the game, but I mean, that defense destroyed an already tattered New England offensive line. Tom Brady must have bruises up and down his body.
He must be hurting.
Do you feel bad for Tom Brady?
I don't want him to get hurt.
So you want him to get hurt?
No. No, but
You were cheering for him to get a concussion. Tell the truth.
God. No. That is not even funny, no.
It's Tom Brady, though.
I'm
joking. I wouldn't want that either. But he got his ass kicked yesterday. That defense tore him apart. And I'll tell you, it started to get a little dicey towards the end there in that fourth quarter.
They were getting
and
close.
They kept converting on fourth down, and the Patriots did what the Patriots do. And then he basically almost went the whole length of the field with Rob Gronkowski, including the touchdown. I mean, he ended up with 8 receptions yesterday. 8 receptions for Rob Gronkowski, 144 yards. But this is the glaring problem also, too, with the Patriots. Even though rushing isn't their thing. You see who their leading rusher was yesterday? Mm-hmm. Tom Brady.
Not good.
13 yards on 3 attempts. You know who also ran for, I don't know if he ran for 13 yards? Peyton Manning. I think you were in the kitchen.
Yeah.
He actually ran for a first down.
Really?
Yes. And the whole defensive line.
That's unheard of, huh?
The defense on the bench was laughing it up. They loved it.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So Tom Brady, while he did get his ass kicked, he was 27 of 56 with 310 yards. He had 2 interceptions, I think, right?
Yeah.
Yes, he had 2 interceptions. Peyton, no interceptions. So
it was a clean game.
It was a clean game. Patriot fans were whining still on WEI today, complaining that there should have been a pass interference call on Rob Gronkowski on Aqib Talib. I thought it was borderline, but I don't think you're going to make that call in a big game like that.
He hardly. There was really not much there. I don't know what you would have called him.
I agree with that. And they were also just, you know what they were doing? They were just almost negating the victory just because Peyton Manning wasn't that good in the second half.
He's an older quarterback. He knows it. Everyone knows it. That's how they're playing.
So a lot of crow. Actually, it's not true. A lot of crow wasn't being eaten by Boston fans, but regardless, they are in the past, and the Broncos are going on to the World Series. They are going to have a lot of trouble in the World Series, probably because most of them can't hit a curveball. Going into the Super Bowl, even Shannon Sharp, though, just to stay on the topic for a little bit, Shannon Sharp totally trolling the Patriots, the former Denver Bronco Hall of Fame tight end who wears insanely tight suits. If you remember from CBS's NFL pregame show, I mean,
you think he does
tight.
Pilates?
They were. By the way, I went to Pilates today.
Again, second time.
So for the people still listening after I said that, try it out. I dare you. I know there's a lot of guys. That was my last time listening to that podcast. Swipe, delete. Man, it's serious shit. I don't know if Shannon Sharp does Pilates. Now you got me all flustered when you brought that up. Thanks a lot. But Shannon Sharp just ripping the Patriots in their face. He's still, as we speak, we're doing this podcast at 8:38 p.m. He's still getting into it, like really fighting with people. Like are they celebrating in Denver, in New England, like they are in Denver? Good luck in California. Cam's gonna send Forehead into retirement. You mean just like Brady did? What's Manning's record against Brady in AFC Championship games? Oh, but that doesn't fit the narrative some like. And the other one I liked was, oh man, imagine if the Patriots had a healthy Brady, Gronkowski, Edelman, Amendola. They would have destroyed the Broncos. Oh wait, they did. So he's having a lot of fun. I don't know what he does for work right now, but he's definitely working Twitter and Patriots fans as we speak. But they will be taking on the Carolina Panthers, and that was really not much of a game. Talk about tight suits. You know who's tight? Carson Palmer. He was tight yesterday. He makes Andy Dalton look like a good playoff quarterback. He was terrible yesterday. I mean, this is not breaking news. He was 23 or 40 with 4 interceptions. He honestly should have had like 8 interceptions. There was a drive last night where it was like 4 or 5 passes in a row that should have been an interception. It was pathetic. I know you didn't watch a lot of this game.
Yeah.
I mean, it was never really a game. Look at that. Oh, that's a pass. I was going to say, wow, Larry Fitzgerald didn't have anything. He had 7 catches for 30 yards. Cam Newton and
all his receivers, yeah.
That all team, yeah, exactly. That whole team. I think you got 2 receivers yesterday, Brown and Greg Olsen with 113 yards. They're good. They've destroyed the Cardinals. I don't know how you really want to look at the Seattle game. I feel like they took their foot off the gas in the second half against Seattle. Yeah. Maybe they could have destroyed them more, and they just sort of conserved their energy. Who knows? It's a little scary.
It is.
What are you thinking? What do you think?
What's my game plan?
What's your game plan when you're going to watch this Super Bowl? This is your boy, Peyton Manning. He's going against See, the thing with Carolina is they got an offense and they got a defense. Peyton's offense isn't there like it used to be.
Mm-hmm. I don't know what they're coming up with. I haven't spoken to...
Should we talk to Gary Kubiak? Find out what's on his mind? Will we get him on the podcast?
Obviously the run game, right?
Right.
So that's... the defense has to play outstanding.
Their defense is going to have to play as good as yesterday, if not better. If Von Miller can play any better, I don't know how a human can, but they're going to need that. They're going to need that. The Panthers opened up a 4-point favorites.
Yeah. I'm surprised that's not...
I'm surprised it's not higher.
Yeah.
I was thinking maybe 6 or... maybe not 7, but 5 or 6. Who knows? We got 2 weeks for that line to move, too.
I don't know. Maybe Peyton's conserving some energy we don't know about.
Oh, but you know what? He's conserving the energy, but so is everyone else.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I'm hoping he wins and he can go out on top like that. That'd make a nice story.
Yeah. Michael Strahan winning the Super Bowl and calling it a career. If he were to win the Super Bowl and came back, that's just downright greedy. And he should be embarrassed.
I just don't want it to be ugly.
Like you don't want it to be Denver, Seattle Super Bowl. No. And a lot of people are. That was the Boston Sports Radio was already just having visions of that dancing in their head as if it was, Christmas morning. I don't know why they're so obsessed with Peyton Manning. It's kind of weird. I mean, I understand the rivalry of Manning and Brady, but I don't know. You just see a guy who's been so good throughout the years be disliked and just ripped apart so much. Like Derek Jeter looked like crap at the end, but I don't remember Boston ripping apart Derek Jeter the way they did.
Oh, he was celebrated in the last game and everything.
You know what? Maybe it was because the Yankees were so bad that year and they didn't make the playoffs, so it really wasn't an issue.
Everyone, was pretty bad.
Yeah, well, hey. Remember Derek's retirement tour? That was so much fun.
Okay.
No?
No.
Are you ready for the Ortiz retirement tour?
Yeah, I am.
Do you think they will have a David Ortiz day at Yankee Stadium?
I don't know. Why don't you answer that question as a Yankee fan? Do you think they will?
Maybe not a day, but do you think they'll give him a gift on his gift-giving tour that he said he would never do?
They have to.
Why?
I don't know. Reciprocity? I don't know. Why else? I don't know.
Yeah,
you would think they're going to do something.
I feel like they're going to be pushed into a corner if every other team is doing it. Or are the Yankees going to be the only one? I mean, I can see in that.
I don't know.
In that position, if every single team in the major leagues is doing it except for the Yankees, that looks really bad upon the Yankees organization. Even though David Ortiz, like Mike Francesa has said, is one of the biggest con men that we've ever seen.
Okay.
So speaking of con men, Jameis Winston. You like that segue?
Sure.
Yeah, he's not really a con man.
No,
he's just a liar, I guess. You don't think he's a liar?
Yeah, probably worse than a liar.
Yeah, listen, I don't want to make accusations like this, but I will only give you the facts. Florida State paid out Jameis Winston's rape accuser $950,000 in a settlement today. And I was told by Florida State and Jameis Winston, not personally, but I was told that he was innocent. I don't hand over $1 million to people that are lying. What does that say? We were having this conversation. We talked about this, just like Jim Nantz and Phil Simms. By the way, I didn't know what was going on in the game on the train, but it was the same bullshit from everyone. Jim Nantz is just thirsting Peyton. Phil Simms is drunk, and Mike Carey doesn't know where he is. But go ahead. What do you think about something like Jameis Winston like this?
I think it says a lot that the university is paying to settle this, but I don't know. It's surprising. I mean, they stood by him, and now that it says a lot. It says a lot about what people can also get away with, depending on
depending on how far you can throw a football.
Yeah.
I also find the timing of it very convenient. Only a few weeks after the regular season is over, and the day after the championship game, and Jameis Winston isn't playing, so sort of this news will just sort of float away, float away. It's beautiful timing. And again, Florida State should be ashamed of themselves. Now they did have some comments here. Is this the article I read here? I'll always be disappointed that... Oh, no, that's the accuser. There was something Florida State said. I'm not going to waste my time looking for it here. According to the lump sum to Eric Kinsman, which includes attorneys, is the largest settlement for Title... What is that?
Title IX.
Title IX. Claims regarding indifference to a student sexual assault. I'm terrible with Roman numerals.
Okay. I
should know Title IX, though.
Yeah.
Shame, huh? You like that? But no, Dan, this isn't the one. Florida State said something about, we're so disappointed that we didn't get to tell our side of the story.
Well, they could have.
Cut the bullshit, exactly. Who's stopping you? You hate shit like that. What else were we going to talk about? I was going to get into a little basketball. Now, I'm not going to go crazy with basketball, but this is when I'll start to get into it now. Football is definitely at a premium with only one game left. Now, there was a major move in the NBA last week. Mm-hmm. David Blatt, the coach of the Cleveland Cavaliers, with a team with the third best record in the NBA, was fired, which is just mind-boggling. Now, we all know that it's been bumpy there. A lot of the players, and Brian Winterhorst at ESPN had a great article. Basically, it's a very long article, but it's just sort of chronological order of the relationship between the Cleveland Cavaliers and David Blatt. Now, David Blatt was brought in there because they didn't know LeBron was actually going to be on the team. He was sort of floating in the wind in his, he wants everyone to court him. They thought they were going to have a very young team that included Andrew Wiggins. Mm-hmm. So they brought in a guy who'd coached in Russia and Israel and never coached in the NBA before. I don't think they would have brought that guy in there to coach LeBron James and his regalness. Mm-hmm. He is the king, by the way.
Yeah.
King James.
Of course.
He's not feudal. He's regal.
Got it.
Now, he was very upset when they brought in Blatt, though, because he wanted to be consulted. Although LeBron's got some issues. Whatever. Hey, he's used to getting his way. We'll put it that way. Yeah. Now, the whole article...
It's his team.
Right. He's the king. The article basically details how a lot of the players became closer to the assistant coach, Tyronn Lue.
Okay.
And they started to defer to him when it came to things and ignored Blatt.
That's rough.
And, well, if you saw in the playoffs last year, LeBron completely ignoring Blatt, demeaning him and undermining him in public by saying, the play that was drawn up I didn't like, so I changed the play. That's why we won the game. Comments from a great guy. And then... So we all know that he wants to be involved with the team. Wasn't a huge fan of Blatt. And then he came out either yesterday or today and said, I just wanted to say that, or maybe through his people said this, I had no input whatsoever to that decision. Mm-hmm. That is the biggest lie since the moon landing. What do you think about that?
No, I agree.
The moon landing part.
Oh, yeah. Well, never been there.
Do you think it's... I say that kind of half serious.
Yeah.
Think about it. We haven't been there since, 19...
Oh, Lord. We're not going to get into this again.
1969?
No, we're not doing this. Okay.
No country other than America has gone there?
Okay.
But there was a whole big race to get there, and then everyone just sort of stopped. Well, somebody went there. Don't worry. We've learned everything we can. Don't worry about it.
Okay.
What do you think about LeBron?
Not discussing moon landing stuff with you. LeBron, I mean, obviously had something to do with the decision. What's there to say?
There was a... God damn it, I forget his name. But he almost went and said that the fact that... I don't know if I completely agree with this, but he thinks that him coming out there being so insincere and lying about this was actually a worse look than the decision. The decision itself.
I don't know. That's okay. Still...
So going a little too far there?
The decision was pretty bad.
Yeah, that was an embarrassing time.
It took a whole hour of...
I don't think he's still fully recovered with that from a PR standpoint. I think people still look at that and say...
Well, it was ridiculous.
Right.
Yeah.
No, I understand. And I guess the last thing we'll talk about... This is kind of a quick podcast, right? That's 24 minutes. It's enough. In college basketball, I've noticed what?
No. Okay, keep going.
College basketball, the final 4 teams, you got Wisconsin's not even in the top 25. Michigan State's looking good. And Kentucky and Duke are barely in the top 25 right now. College basketball is just rough to watch. And I said this earlier in the season. Why
is it rough to watch? Because those teams aren't...
Well, here's the thing. I mean, it's rough to watch because the game isn't the same anymore. Okay. The players aren't as good. They're not there to actually get better, the superstars, because they're there to sort of hang out, have big games, and then leave.
So what, you want to make them stay for the 4 years?
You can't make them stay.
Well, then...
College basketball has a major problem.
Okay.
I don't blame these kids for leaving whatsoever.
So you want them to pay the players?
I'm not going to get into this discussion right now. I'm not paying the player bullshit. I'm not doing that.
Okay.
They're amateurs.
Okay. So what...
Well, I just want to say we've been watching that. And then there are other things about... We sort of... We're not cord cutters, so to speak. We're kind of cord cutters.
Meaning what?
Well, we stream the games.
Yeah.
And I want to talk about some of your favorite commercials that you see all the time, over and over again. Because when you stream games, you don't get the normal commercials that you do on like ESPN or whatever like that. You get the same 3 commercials over and over and over again. Now, speaking of college basketball, I just wanted to bring that up for a segue, that's all. I know, I really didn't have much of a point. Now, there is a series of commercials that you really like.
When you say like, you mean I dislike.
Right.
As when you tell me I like certain things that I actually strongly dislike and disapprove of.
Yes.
Yes.
Mike Krzyzewski.
Yeah.
The texting commercials.
I hate those.
Why do you hate them?
I think they're creepy. I don't know why. They kind of creep me out. I don't know. It's just weird.
Does he creep you out?
Yes, he creeps me out. The whole, I didn't know those were... I thought those were his kids. It was very confusing to me. I mean, then you explain that they're his grandkids. I
think that he's like 7.
No, actually, I'm sorry. Excuse me. I thought they were actually players on the team. I found them kind of short at first. This is why I thought it was creepy. I thought they were players, and he was talking to... That his players called him Pappy. And so I found that really strange, and that's where the whole creepy thing comes in. But then you told me that they were actually his grandkids, possibly?
I would assume. He's
supposed
like 70.
To be. Okay, so yeah, it started creeping me out when I thought that the players called him Pappy or whatnot. Which, I mean, maybe they do. Who knows?
That'd be a creepy thing.
But yeah, not one of my favorite commercials, no.
You know what? Speaking of creepy, I'm going to take a shot at your boy here.
Creepy? Who? Which boy?
Peyton Manning.
Why?
Those nationwide commercials. Who are those kids he's just playing ping pong with? Just random kids in the neighborhood?
He's a neighborhood sort of guy. I don't know. What are we... I'm going to defend the commercials the commercial plot lines now? I really don't care.
Why is he going to the movies by himself and talking to himself?
You would think he has a movie theater in his home. He wouldn't have to even do that, but...
I just don't understand why he's walking into open garages and playing ping pong with people.
Why is it not his garage?
Why is he having young children over to play ping pong
in
his
garage? Maybe he has young kids. Maybe they're friends of his kids. Again, why am I defending commercial plot lines right now? This is ridiculous.
On that note, I think we'll end the podcast. I want to thank my lovely wife for being here.
Thank you, husband, for having me.
You want to talk Peyton commercials, or
no? I
already did that
again.
Thank you for having me. Why did I do that?
You are welcome. Please come back anytime and join us here on the Red Ticket Blues podcast.
You can always listen to the show on iTunes, TuneIn Radio, Stitcher, YouTube, and follow me on Twitter at BrianBuck13 and at Red Ticket Blues. Like the show on Facebook, and remember to leave a review.
Yes, leave a review.
And 5-star rating. And with all that being said, I'm out of here.